Presentations in the corporate world are an integral part of every meeting in the corporate scenario. Without presentations, no meetings can really move forward. There are times that there could be no presentation at all, but more often, meetings have to have a lot of presentations. However, have you thought about it that whether these presentations are really engaging? Because these presentations are only to show what the company is has achieved in the past, that is monthly, quarterly, half yearly, or annually. But what are the future progressions or predictions for the organization? And this has a lot of data, facts, statistics, and nothing beyond. That is why there is an information overload on slides in presentations. Have you analyzed why this kind of a scenario still continues in the corporate world? This really happens for simple reasons. There is death by PowerPoint. What I mean by that, number one, presentations are dull and dry. Why are they dull and dry? They are dry, or they are dry and dull for the simple reason. Lot of information, different kinds of colors. But apart from that, are these slides really lively? Are they engaging with your audience? Are they pulling the attention of the audience towards whatever is being spoken? Second, the presenters who come over there, they are overconfident that they know this subject matter very well. And as such, hardly anyone has the time to really practice presenting that presentation in front of the audience. Let me give you an example. Steve Jobs, when he had to launch a product of Apple before a big audience, what did he do? He used to practice more than 200 times, and that is why his presentations were flawless. They had a lot of fun, they had a lot of statistics inside, but nevertheless, they were engaging and highly impactful. The presentations in the corporate world hardly drive the attention of the audience. The audience is so disengaged that they finally look into their laptops, in their mobile phones, and just pay attention. The focus is not there on the presentations. What really happens thereby? The effectiveness of that particular presentation, the effectiveness of that particular meeting goes down. And eventually, the desired results are not achieved. Presentation deck also becomes the main document for the presenter. The presenter comes every moment, every second, he's always looking into the slides rather than paying attention to what he has to speak and what message he has to convey to the audience. So the audience is really confused whether to pay attention to the slides or whether to pay attention to the speaker or the presenter and to the message that he is wanting to convey. And that is why the message of the presenter hardly gets conveyed to the audience. And that is the reason most presentations really don't achieve the desired results for which they are really made. Mind you, there's a lot of time that is invested in making these presentations, but is it really very worthwhile for the time invested to create these presentations? The time is not very managed properly. What I mean by this is that the time given for preparing or delivering the presentation is really not matched. More often than not, the time is overshot, and as such, the speaker not only goes by the speed of the presentation or by the speed of his language and skims a lot of slides and skips them, that the effectiveness of the presentation is completely lost. So, what do you think we should be doing to make sure that the presentations are more engaging and impactful? Number one, the speakers need to practice their presentation very, very well. They at least should practice 10 times before they finally come into the room to present. Second is knowledge of the audience. More often than not, the speakers do not have the knowledge of the subject that the audience would be aware of. That is why when they speak, more information it just goes above the head and no one pays attention to it. Knowledge of the environment. The speakers come at the last moment, put the laptop on the table, and present. What really happens? Their heart is thumping. They don't have composure at that point of time. They're anxious, nervous, and therefore they make a lot of mistakes when delivering the presentation. So make sure that they need to come before the meeting starts, well beforehand. They also need to make sure that last minute preparation should be avoided. More often than not, the presentations in the corporate world keep changing till the last moment. Where do you get the time to actually practice the presentation? Most of the informations either are updated at the last moment, their slides are changed, changes are made at the nth hour. How do you make an impact on that presentation to the audience? That is the reason why most presentations in the corporate world are not engaging. So, next time when you go and make the presentation in the corporate scenario where you're going to present in your office, make sure that you keep these points in mind so that you are able to impress upon your audience, give proper knowledge, give proper updates, and last but not the least, in order to make your presentations more engaging and impactful, add stories, add metaphors, give examples. This is the way by which the audience will be able to understand your presentation in a better way. Bear in mind that your presentations are impactful and engaging by keeping some of these tips which I have shared in this video, and you put it into practice and see what the magic happens in your next presentation. If you would like to know more about how you could make your speech or your communication confident and your presentations impactful, write in the comment section me and I will get in touch with you so that I can help you to take your speaking and delivery of your presentations to the next level.